Two guys in oddly fitting NCR veteran ranger armor are using a metal detector to collect some kind of metal in the sand. Apparently this is their livelihood as they live close by. Do they not have the resources to mine metal from the ground like ore or process it? Wouldn't huge chunks of metal ore be much more efficient than searching for little pieces of metal in the wasteland, under sand, supposedly after some random shootout? Is there a reason they're specifically looking for copper shell casings or spent lead bullets? Then they're heating it all together in a stove? If you put all the random bits together, that won't process anything. Assuming you can reach melting temperatures of random metal, which have random melting points, you'll just get a big metallic mass that solidifies at the bottom. What are these guys doing? The Ghoul somehow got information that this family is related to the events of Episode 2's store lady who was going to transport Ringo Bingo to Moldaver. The Ghoul apparently killed the third and eldest sibling, but couldn't make out the location on the paper he shot a hole in, which implies the brother he shot was holding the paper like they were reading a newspaper. We have no idea this all happened off screen. So he somehow hunted down the second sibling in their shack in the middle of nowhere, as he was also related to this task. The Ghoul then gets the location of Moldaver, which is the observatory, and the Ghoul asks if the brother is going to seek revenge. The second sibling tries to attack the Ghoul, but the Ghoul kills him. They could have done a montage with monologue and gotten to this point a lot faster, but fine, lead farmers in NCR veteran ranger armor using metal detectors instead of mining tools. I assume they manufacture bullets or sell the cooled congealed metal to someone who does. Hey, TV show, ever heard of farmers who grow, I don't know, food? That thing you need to survive in the wasteland? But whatever. Be a weird Star Wars reference, I guess. This is already beyond the pale. The Ghoul then pulls out a puffer, which I don't recall them ever packing, considering he passed out after a drug-induced TV watching binge. Fine, whatever. He managed to pack drugs before he is captured by the lawman. Back in the past, Moldaver tells Cooper he knows his wife, and that she was about to figure out cold fusion, which is dumb, since they already have normal fusion, whose results do exactly the same thing as cold fusion. And it could have just explained how normal nuclear fusion is limited or highly regulated or not free to everyone because of a dystopian scenario or whatever. Make up some sci-fi radiation thing. But no.
Cold fusion, infinite energy.
We got to use pseudoscience and fiction to stick a thing into someone's neck to make people immortal and be a plot goal. None of this makes any sense. So she wants Cooper to get the information back from his wife by giving him a very large listening device.
I'm not a communist, Mr. Howard. That's just a dirty word they use to describe people who aren't insane.
In the Fallout universe, that's a pretty good and accurate line, because in our world, socialists and communists are insane. And it's ironic since they're the ones who use language to lie and demonize everyone they feel are counter to their revolution. In much the same way the American government, through Vault-Tec, is advocating for war. Lucy is watching a video.
His ancestors were used as lab rats until the lab rats rebelled.
The creature in the video was actually my great-uncle Peter on my mom's side.
So the people here are the descendants of Gulper human hybrids. So why do they have all these pregnant women in stasis then if the lab rats rebelled? They just keep doing the experiments? When the overseer is crying over the historical tape of his dead uncle, what is going on here exactly? What is this lineage?
Trying to ease the pain of the poor souls your people lured into this place.
And if her people, the people in other vaults, lure people to this vault, why does Vault 4 keep doing that? Why have the test subject sign still being lit up? What exactly is the policy now? How do or did these pregnant women get that way? Why are they in stasis? How old are they? Are they still easing their pain? Till when? For how long? What do they do with people from the surface exactly if they're not test subjects? What does being a test subject mean? The narrative has raised these questions, but do you think they're going to get answered? Maximus sees Lucy get carried off, so he stands up. Thaddeus sticks the dog in a Nuka-Cola cooler because the dog's annoying to him and starts looking for the radio tower. Comically, Lucy gets banished before comically being saved by Maximus, who has stolen the vault's fusion core, and this just happens instantly. They never show it or understand the sense of time it would have taken to get to Lucy from, I guess, the basement. This all happens in between one cut. So somehow he steals the core, the power of the facility goes down, somehow runs back upstairs with the power core, puts it into the power armor, jacks into the armor, and now we see him somehow running down the halls. So they finally escape in this disconnected mess. Lucy talks Maximus into returning the fusion core back to the Vault 4 and abandons his armor, and apparently they forget to take the remnants of the 2 weeks of supplies that were shattered a bit. She trusts Maximus and wants him to live with her in Vault 33. Thaddeus walks somehow is able to know where a radio tower is by listening to a radio. A man is about to kill himself with a gun. Suddenly sees Thaddeus. It's the snake oil salesman. Anyway, Thaddeus trades the fusion core for an elixir which magically repairs his foot. And he doesn't have to worry about radiation. I mean, I guess we had to step it up from a Fallout Stimpak healing all wounds. Okay, fair. Back in Vault 33, the prisoners have been poisoned. No one knows who did it, but this is something I thought would have happened back in Episode 3. Also, what happened to the broken water chip plot? Did you just forget about that again? Either way, Overseer Betty reassigns some people to Vault 32, and it pops up on their Pip-Boy like we're watching the first episode of BBC's Sherlock. It's hinted through Stephanie's reaction and Betty's implication that Stephanie poisoned the prisoners, though it's never clearly stated directly. I guess that's a mystery. I doubt they're going to care. The Ghoul finds the gas station that Thaddeus trapped the dog in. I guess he needs the dog again to hunt down Ringo Bingo's head again? Okay, I mean, that makes sense. But how did the Ghoul know how to get here? And he just happened to find the dog. Wow, what a coincidence. Cooper brings the listening bug close to his wife's Pip-Boy, and it somehow just connects to it like it's a Bluetooth adapter. Oh, and it's also a literal speaker, and he puts it in his ear. Does it download any data from the Pip-Boy? I thought I was going to replace the dial on the Pip-Boy, like it would be a keylogger of some kind. Is there a limited range to this thing? Does it use a satellite? Is its own battery? How does this thing work, really? So he's literally going to listen in on his wife speaking? Does it also connect to Moldaver somehow? Like, what exactly is the plan here? You know, story, some exposition for what he actually needs to do and how to do it, how this thing works, that would have been really helpful. We can't assume the limitations on how your magical listening device works and what the stakes now are. Does he have to follow her at 30 meters? I mean, what's next? A necklace that reads minds and 3D prints ideas? Cooper then throws the earpiece in the garbage. Cooper watches the advertisement he made about Vault 4 being a community of scientists. This causes him to go find the earpiece again because he didn't like the rule of no dogs in the vault. I'm not sure how the advertisement and his question about no dogs in the vault are connected, but either way, he gets the earpiece back.
I'm sorry, dog meat, but you ain't him.
Wait a moment. This is a guy who abandoned the dog in Episode 3, but now he needs him and is feeling sentimental about dogs because we just had a flashback. Okay, where did the name Dogmeat come from then? Thaddeus somehow meets with the radio guy at the radio tower.
Just a reminder that I don't take visitors at the station.
Which I'm assuming is the tower in the background of this quick shot of Maximus and Lucy walking. Thaddeus comments on the radio operator making such well-made deadly traps, and then you have to ask, how did Thaddeus avoid other traps? Of course, these traps do exist, and we'll find out in the next few scenes. Thaddeus then gets a Pulp Fiction moment, which implies Lucy and Maximus ran all the way up this hill in that short amount of time. I mean, lots of things happen off screen in this show, so I'm not surprised anymore. After being fired upon and everyone realizing Thaddeus is out of rounds, Lucy and Maximus put their hands up for some reason. Lucy and Maximus walk up to Thaddeus, and they're fine. No bullet holes, and they're not hitting any traps. I guess they just took the same path Thaddeus did. Oh, how coincidental, everyone's still alive. But then Thaddeus takes one step backward and triggers a trap and gets an arrow through the neck. Did he know about this trap? Wouldn't the radio operator have told him while they were sitting right there there was a trap right next to him? Or is Thaddeus as stupid as this scene needs him to be? We also see Lucy and her reattached finger in the scene, which is surprising for that level of detail.
I think you might be a ghoul.
Okay, since when did ghouls have super regenerative properties, like repairing a shattered leg or foot almost instantly? I don't recall that being a thing in Fallout lore. But if that's true, that means the snake oil salesman has an elixir of some kind to instantly turn people into ghouls, and this is common. Additionally, if ghouls in this universe can regenerate, why would our ghoul need to sew on newly attached body parts that were removed? Or does the regeneration of body parts only occur as soon as you become a ghoul? And the rest of you is just what, immortal? Won't Thaddeus' face start falling apart like all their ghouls? Like you can't be killed from being stabbed in the neck? I'm very confused. How do ghouls work, Fallout TV show?
I'll slow them down. You'll have time to run. Did you do that for me?
So Thaddeus trades Ringo Bingo's head so he can get running away from the Brotherhood. I guess he forgot about Glory and his mission, all because he thinks the Brotherhood will kill him. But why? He did everything that was asked of him and solved the mission. He doesn't even know if he's a ghoul, unless the narrative tells or shows us he is a ghoul. But since our ghoul can't regenerate fingers, therefore he's not a ghoul. He's something else. Maximus gives Lucy Ringo Bingo's head, finds another head among the traps, and tells her to go find her dad. Maximus then walks toward the radio tower, which is in the opposite direction of the vertibirds from the previous scene. How and why did the show change the angle of the vertibird approach? Do you want to figure that out? Because I don't. Also, Maximus is completely safe amidst the various other traps near the radio tower building, or he just wasn't aware of them, or the show doesn't care anymore because this scene is over. And Vault 33 is above ground as well. Why not? Let's put all the vaults above ground. Norm hacks into the Overseer's terminal and talks to the Overseer in Vault 31, manages to get access, and we fade to black.